begin today's evening. I have a few things to say before we start. I think just like how an electric train in a Mani Ratna movie and A.R. Rahman music are remarkably inseparable, just like how every Mylapore decoction filter coffee never filters without the morning suprabhatam, just like how every sunset doesn't leave without kissing the waves of the ocean. Some combination contrivances never fail to bring enchantment to our heart and mind. Today's yet another series of Rain Diaries is a humble effort by four colorful dreamers to create an entangled combination of memories, music, poetry, and travel. And I'm sure all of you are really curious about what today is going to be because it definitely is a new venture from the usual lines of the set series. But I shall assure you that I will take you on a walk that will bring a wide solace at the end of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, to all your hearts. Today, myself, Ritu, Dr. Pratibha, Mr. Madhu, and Gopika are to explore the nuances of the flares that we love and share with you all five collages that we have built. Each collage was made under the umbrella of beautiful topics and what it meant to each one of us by heart. I think since Rain Diaries has set the stage for all the series, we've done various such open mics and it has set the stage. So it would be injustice if I didn't begin the show without some Thural, Saral, and some Malay. Rain. Rain, to all of us, it means different things at different stages of life. To me, I think it means it is about a particular song in Bombay Jayashree's voice. I still remember tracing back to the January rides that I used to take from home to school. After heavily sobbing on a pouring day without getting a holiday, my mom would pin me down under the seat belt, and the FM used to play this song, and it really pacified me. Quite some time later, during my college bus rides, when I used to feel lonely on a rainy, gloomy day, this song made me yearn for a love to hold my hand. And I'm sure this song means so much more to so many of you out there. And that's why we are here to present that song to you. It goes like this. அடைமழை வரும் அதில் நனைவோமே குளிர் காய்ச்சலோடு ஸ்நேகம் ஒரு போர்வைக்குள் இரு தூக்கம்
Hi, I'm Gopika, and I'm really glad to be here and hope you all enjoy this evening. Have fun.
Thank you so much, Gopika. I think music to all of us is more than just notes in the air and tunes out in the air. A song simply compiles our emotions and weaves a yarn that makes up all the neurons of our memory lane. And that is why The first picture of our collage was chosen to be coming from the golden strings, the magic of the golden strings of a versatile medical student, Gopika. The next picture of ours will be from someone who needs no introduction, our Dr. Pratibha ma'am, because what is music without lyrics, isn't it? It is the life indeed to what brings emotions into us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ritu. Thank you for agreeing to host the evening, despite being the busy intern that Gunapriya ma'am was talking about. And thank you, Gopika, for sharing your evening and your golden strings with us. And thank you, Madhu, for agreeing to be with us and share your travel experiences. And myself, Dr. Pratibha, I know most of you over here. For the few who I haven't met, I'm Dr. Pratibha. I would like to introduce myself as a happy mom, a doctor, a professor by choice, and an author too. So let me take a few seconds to present my screen. I'll confirm if it's visible, and then I shall present my first poem. Okay, so is my screen visible? I think the entire Google Meet screen is visible. Is the poem screen visible?
Yeah, Pratibha, it's visible now.
Okay. So someone once said, listen to the rhythm of the falling rain. And so I request you all to listen to the rhythm of the falling rain in my words titled, When It Rained and I Missed You. It rained, and for a change, today, the dull felt so cool, crisp, and full. The gloom, for sure, had no room. The wet grass wasn't a discomfort, I bet. The cold was complimented. It's chill, I told. The messy mud didn't find me any more fussy. Yeah, because it's no more the rain and me. It's the rain and us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think your words are always sweet swords of delight indeed for us, always. Moving on to the next picture of our collage, it is a travelogue. So when ma'am asked me to introduce a travelogue, I had to, go grab a Oxford dictionary myself. This dictionary says a film, book, or illustrated lecture about the places visited by or experienced by a traveler. And today we have with us a wanderlust himself, a traveler, an explorer, Mr. Madhu. And he wants to showcase to us a few pictures that he has experienced by himself to add to this beautiful piece of collage. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Ritu, and special thanks on the travel log thing. So the travel log, as we know, it's been around for some time, but then people have been travel logging since age immemorial. Just give me a minute before I share my screen. Yeah, is my screen visible? Hello, is my screen?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. With rainbow.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, sir. So with Ritu, rain meant a memory, and with the girl with the golden strings and golden fingers, it meant a tune. And for Pratibha, as always, it means probably a paper, a pen, and a cup of coffee. But then I've seen rain in much larger scales with more dramatic effects on it. Not to mention that the same forces that uh, just give me a yeah the same forces that creates all the coffee effects is also the effect that creates massive effects as well. So rain does bring dramatic changes on a landscape on the whole. But then there is this one particular place that I know that I've been traveling for the past at least 7-8 years, probably. Actually, I stay there for at least 2 months in a year, and because that's when the season gets on, and the whole valley comes to life in 2 months and then goes back to dormant soon after. So that the place that I'm talking about is called Valley of Flowers. It's in Uttarakhand, not too far away from Badrinath, but then the hard part is it's a one-way 15-kilometer trek. So like most of the Himalayan valleys, so this is the valley. So this picture was shot in May, mid-May. So what happens is during Jan, Feb, this valley gets soaked with snowfall, heavy snowfall, and the whole valley goes down under a carpet of snow, which is at least 20 to 30 feet tall. So come March, the melting starts, and by April, May, the melting is done. And meanwhile, in May, the southwest monsoon starts in Kerala and takes almost 2 to 3 weeks to reach Uttarakhand. And once it reaches Uttarakhand, the Himalayas stop all of it, and everything pours down in one place. And in a matter of something like 2 weeks, this valley, which is just rock and barren just rock and sand, turns into this. So this is like, I think it's 3 weeks apart, so where the whole entire valley turns green, and still there is rain pouring all day long. So there has been, I think it was the year 2016 or 17, I'm not sure about it. I was there and it rained continuously for 7 days. And we know that rain, I mean, the highest rainfall place in the world is Cherrapunji. But then what most of us don't know is India has at least a dozen places that come very close to Cherrapunji when it comes to rainfall. And 2 or 3 years, there are places like the Dauladars, Agumbe that actually surpass the rainfall that was cast in Cherrapunji. So to give a sense of scaling, I think most of you live in Chennai, and you would have been aware, or you would have experienced 2015 floods. And Uttarakhand and the other places that I was talking about receive such rainfalls for 3 to 4 days non-stop, and that's for 2.5 months. So in another 15-20 days, what happens is the smaller plant starts blooming, and you can actually see the clouds at the end of this picture. So the clouds are so low, either the clouds are so low, or the mountains are so high. So sometimes it actually doesn't rain. The clouds just pass over you, and then you are totally drenched. So that's the amount of humidity and moisture these clouds bring in. And in about
sorry, somebody else is presenting.
Siddharth Sid is presenting. Please take care.
one.
Yeah. Okay, Madhu.
Yeah. Is the picture visible? Yeah.
Yes.
So in about a month and a half, we see small. This flower is called Arnia. So this is pretty much the most abundant plant in the Valley of Flowers, and it starts blooming. And in almost 2 to 2.5 months, the valley that was completely barren turns into this. And by mid-August, this is what we see. The entire valley blooms, and it blooms for 7 kilometers in a stretch, and it stays for 2 weeks. And this is just one part of the valley, because 7 kilometers is too huge to cover up in a single picture. And for that fact, this is not the only plant that flowers. Valley of Flowers holds the record for having the highest number of alpine flowers. There are close to 360 different species of plants which bloom at pretty much the same time, where the whole valley becomes a multitude of color. And come September, all the flowers go down, and then by October, snowfall starts again, and by November, December, the snow covers up again. And this process has been happening at least for the past 400 million years. So we better not shy out of frame. So thank you, Priti, and next to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, that brings us to the end of this beautiful collage called Rain. Hope all of you enjoyed the four beautiful pictures that we brought up together. Ma'am, shall we stop recording and begin on the next segment? Okay.